And welcome back to another episode of The Narrative. No, hit that intro. This week's narrative. It seems like a repeat narrative. If you were with us last season, you probably would have heard it, but the Senior Bowl matters. And I'm here to tell you again and again and again that it does not. It's a bit of a hyperbole. It's not that it doesn't matter, but it matters like so little based on the amount of coverage that it gets. It gets a absurd amount of coverage. Like, you scroll through your Twitter timeline. I've already muted the Senior Bowl. But if you scroll
Word
through your
Senior
timeline,
Bowl.
yeah, you're gonna see like guys
You're
being
gonna
like,
miss some like
wow.
important old PBA tweets like, "Oh, this senior bowler is going crazy right now." But yeah, Senior
Yeah,
Bowl
like
doesn't really matter.
you're gonna see like highlights of like, dude A running routes against dude B. Like that DB is probably not going to get drafted, not even going to make it in the NFL. And like, wow, look at this route. Look how fast he is. Look at him burn them on this practice route. Like, dude, it doesn't matter. If you're waiting specifically for wide receivers, if you're waiting to the Senior Bowl to move a guy up your ranks, don't. All right.
I
That's
actually
the
searched Senior Bowl and looked at last year, and some of the higher end wide receivers that were being touted were Antonio Gandy Golden, KJ Hill, Van Jefferson.
oh my
I
God.
think Michael Pittman may have been up there. He was like the only one, but he was already valued pretty high prior to that. Basically, what I'm saying is they just value guys that are good route runners because all they do there is go on one. And if you know
Yeah.
anything about football, being a cornerback is really damn hard when the guy knows what route he's running and the cornerback has no clue and he's on an island. In football, they run zones, they have safeties over the top, so they play different leverages. When you're one, no safety over top, and it's just one drills, of course, a guy like KJ Hill, who predicates his entire game on route running, is going to look pretty good. Of course, a guy like Antonio Gandy Golden, who's 6'6", doesn't really separate, but you just throw the ball up and he's catch like 4 out of 8 of them, and these scouts are going to say how incredible he is. It's going to look good. What I would say is like, of course, there's a few hits every year. Like I feel like Antonio Gibson kind of broke out because they mentioned him at the Senior Bowl, like running with the running backs, as well as the year prior, like a Terry McLaurin. There's always going to be some of those guys, and I feel like Tylan Wallace this year doesn't really necessarily fit into that group because he's somebody that I think you and I are both pretty high in prior to the Senior Bowl. But if you see a guy come out of nowhere and pop up in the map because of the Senior Bowl, there was like that guy, Dwayne Eskridge or something. I saw so many tweets about this random guy who's 5'9" and played at like Western Michigan. If you're thinking of burning a second round pick or an early third on a guy just because there was hype about him, because a bunch of like 40-year-old white guys said that he was really good at running routes on a random day in late January, catching passes from a quarterback he's never seen before against DBs who might be waiting tables in 3 months. I would very highly advise against that because the chances of the Senior Bowl actually mattering, I don't have the data, I don't have the analytics, but I can tell you it's next to 0% hit rate.
It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's never mattered. And, people are going to get mad, jump in the comments, be like, well, what about Terry McLaurin? Look, Terry McLaurin, one of the greatest outliers of all time. If you're spending that much amount of time to try and find the next Terry McLaurin, you should take that time and allocate it and try and find the next T. Higgins, the next CeeDee Lamb, the next Justin Jefferson. Way, way better spent time looking at better prospects there. So just not interested. The only one I'm interested in, honestly, is Tylan Wallace. And what he does in the Senior Bowl is going to have zero impact on what I think about him as a player. The only thing that's going to have an impact is when he gets drafted. If he gets draft capital, that's what I care about, right? And last year, the only one I cared about going to the Senior Bowl was Brian Edwards. He didn't even like play, so very uninterested. You're running routes against air, right? Against cornerbacks, like who might as well be air because the best cornerbacks aren't fucking playing in the Senior Bowl anyways, right? And it's just like it's a total freaking like waste of time. And if you watch it for entertainment, that's totally cool. It's like mock drafts, right? Like I have no problems if you want to do it for entertainment, but the amount of my feed that gets cluttered by like, wow, look at this route, wow, look at that route, is just like it's insane. Like you're gonna see like Kadarius Toney probably do another fucking spin move, which will never work in the NFL, and people will like start drooling over it again. And then like it's just like a total waste of time. Don't freaking get too caught up in that. And
It's like a televised practice. Like in the NBA, guys like Andrew Wiggins, like TJ Warren will go crazy in practice. There's no pressure and nobody's watching them. Obviously, there's like 10 people watching the Senior Bowl right now, but like it's a glorified practice. People are just running practice routes. They're running against air, like you said. They're running routes against cornerbacks who are in a terrible position in one-on-one situations. of course, like most of these guys are gonna look good. Like a Kadarius Toney, like you said, he ran that like little stick route where he ran like inside and out. He did the spin move, and it worked in a college game. He was also in like a really good collegiate offense. Of course, it's gonna work in one-on-ones. Just I think the main takeaway is don't let the Senior Bowl sway your opinion, unless like obviously if you're high on Tylan Wallace and there's good reports, then good. Maybe it like affirms your beliefs a little bit. But if it's a guy you've never heard of, is like burning cornerbacks because he's playing like a bunch of bums right now, you can look into them, like sure if you want to, but I wouldn't like move them ahead of guys that you already have like a very big sample size on, and you know they have like the analytical profile and probably the athletic profile and the production type of stuff. I wouldn't surpass that just to like look into a random guy who might not even be drafted in the NFL.
Yeah. Of all the games to wait, like if you were to wait all the games of a player's career, right, through college, the one you should place the least amount of weight on is the Senior Bowl. So like go look at all the other games instead of spend time watching the Senior Bowl. Go and watch some of the other games they played in college with their team, with a real team, and see how they did there. But you know, we already know what Najee Harris is. We already know what a lot of these guys are. So like, who cares what happens? It really doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
don't waste time on that. Focus
It's
on the
like when
shit
you're
that
at the
matters.
combine and like Travis Etienne runs a 4.39. It's not like you're gonna move him up the board because he runs a 4.39. You already know he's gonna run a 4.39.
Yeah.
So don't do the same thing at the Senior Bowl.
Yep, exactly. All right, that's all we got for you guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up, follow Noah, follow myself, and you know we tease it in one of the other videos. But you know the draft guide is in the works. The pre-sale will be coming soon, so make sure you guys are on the lookout for that shit. It's gonna be fire like it is every year, straight fire on paper, or I guess on screen. Now that we're in the digital age, nobody fucking writes on paper anyway. Anyway, sorry, nobody writes on paper anymore. Unless you're Nick Whalen, I guess. But yeah, other than that, that's it. So that's all we got for you guys. Take it easy.
All right, peace.